TV7 Israel News is made possible thanks to your generous donations.
Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News, broadcast to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, U.S. President Donald Trump doubles down on his proposal to relocate over 1 million Gazans to Egypt and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan. Israelis in border communities along the Gaza Strip and Lebanon, respectively, stress they have no sense of security, demanding Jerusalem do more. The Iranian-proxy Hezbollah warns that it will not accept any extension to the IDF's deployments in Lebanon, despite Beirut's agreeing to Washington's demand. Approximately 300,000 Palestinians made their way to the northern Gaza Strip yesterday after the IDF partially withdrew from the central enclave's Netzarim corridor in accordance with the hostage release deal's outline. Per Israeli government spokesman David Mencer, who addressed Hamas's violations, the transit of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians northward was approved after the United States applied significant pressure on the mediators, which ultimately realized a Qatari brokered side deal, which effectively secures the release of 3 additional hostages.
On the hostage release agreement, yesterday evening the Prime Minister led vigorous and determined negotiations to secure the release of our civilian, Arbel Yehud, and a female soldier, Agam Berger, together with an additional hostage. Hamas had backtracked on the agreement by not releasing Arbel as they had agreed originally. Subsequently, an additional phase of hostage releases are scheduled to take place this Thursday. Following the settling of this violation, Israel this morning agreed to the passage of Gazan residents to the north of Gaza. In accordance with the agreement, 3 additional hostages will be released this Saturday.
It is important to know that the Qatari brokered addendum to the deal reveals the pressure under which Hamas finds itself, with the terror group showcasing seeming urgency in its desire to begin negotiations for the second stage of the hostage release deal, which includes deliberations on a comprehensive ceasefire, alongside domestic Palestinian pressure over the devastation which Hamas brought upon the Gaza Strip in the wake of its October 7th atrocities, and the internationally designated terror group's desperation to transfer severely wounded Hamas terror operatives to Arab countries for treatment. Moreover, Hamas and its terror affiliates in the Gaza Strip are apparently terrified by the proposition of U.S. President Donald Trump, which the American leader had repeated last night once again, to transfer Palestinian residents from the Gaza Strip toward neighboring Egypt and the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan for an unspecified period of time. Meanwhile, families of released Israeli hostages held a press conference during the course of which they voiced their deepest appreciation for President Donald Trump's contribution in securing the release of their loved ones, all the while hoping that the United States will continue to apply its unmatched weight in securing the release of all hostages from Hamas captivity.
A very special thanks goes to President Trump for his unwavering support. Because of your powerful actions, we have our lives back. You made this deal possible after so many months where it felt like all hope was gone. Our hope rests with you for all of the hostages to return.
Sadly, after Hamas provided Israel with a list articulating the well-being of the hostages that are set to be released in phase 1 of this deal, it has been revealed that many have been murdered while in Hamas captivity.
I can confirm that Israel has received from the Hamas terrorist organization, a list that includes the status of all of the 33 hostages due to be released in this first stage. The list from Hamas matches Israel's intelligence. So I can share with you that 25 of our hostages are alive and 8 have been killed by Hamas.
Meanwhile, in southern Israel, in communities near the border with the Gaza Strip, Israelis are voicing deep concern over the resettlement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in the northern part of the enclave.
אח שלי נרצח לצערי ב-7 לאוקטובר.
My brother unfortunately was murdered on October 7th. I live with my family right there, and the terrorists were on the street. We were locked inside the house. And where did they come from? From northern Gaza. So now we are back to the same situation more or less. We have loads of Gazans, and within them loads of terrorists, and we're back to the same situation that we are not safe. We don't know what is going to happen. Maybe there are still tunnels that were not found, and they can use them to enter Israel again and commit another massacre. And this is sad. It's very sad.
וזה עצוב. זה עצוב מאוד.
I feel I have small children, and I wait. You know what I wait? The next October 7, because I know when you give the terrorists free, October 7 come back. Not now, in the future. And I feel panic.
Turning to Israel's northern communities, were similar to the residents of the Gaza periphery communities. Northern residents of border communities are voicing a sense of insecurity despite Hezbollah's evident defeat on the battlefield.
Generally, I wish the ceasefire would go on. But unfortunately, since we are right on the border and in the village next by, we haven't seen civilians since 2006, and the people there are Hamas people, are terrorists, and they dug tunnels to get to our houses, and they shot over 260 anti-tanks missiles to our homes, and 70% of the flats in this place are damaged or destroyed, and so is the infrastructure and everything. Of course, we cannot allow this to go back to the way it was 2 months ago.
It is important to explain that the 60-day ceasefire outline that was reached between the Iranian-proxy Hezbollah and Israel did not culminate with an Israeli withdrawal as initially agreed upon. The reason behind Israel's refusal to withdraw stems from the fact that the Lebanese Armed Forces, or LAF, were tasked with taking over areas from which the IDF withdraws for the purpose of guaranteeing that Hezbollah does not gain any room for maneuver, as the Iranian proxy declaratively aims to reinvigorate its pre-war dominance throughout southern Lebanon. To do so, Hezbollah instructed its people to march toward their occupied villages, pledging to alter reality on the ground by force, believing it would impact negotiations between Israel and Lebanon under US and French mediation.
We are now on the outskirts of Kfar Kila, which the Israeli enemy wiped off from the map, but despite all of that, our people insisted on returning. I believe that we are facing a new path which will change the equations that the Israeli enemy sought to establish, believing that it has opened a path that controls its data. No. Our people in the south today have broken this data and changed the direction, and we are witnessing truly historic days.
Contrary to the Iranian proxy's belief that Israel would react timidly toward the aggressive Hezbollah mob, the IDF warned the unarmed Hezbollah operatives to back down, and when the crowd refused, it opened fire in accordance with international law and the ceasefire's outline. Consequently, at least 24 Hezbollah terror operatives were killed and over 130 sustained separate degrees of injuries from live gunfire. Meanwhile, Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem was adamant that the new leadership in Beirut would not accept Washington's demands for an extension to the ceasefire.
لا نقبل بأي مبرر لتمديد لحظة واحدة ويوم
We do not accept any justification for extending the period by even a single moment or a single day. We do not accept any extension of the period. We have received information that the Americans are contacting Lebanese officials, suggesting that the agreement be extended to February 28th, meaning that Israel does not withdraw until February 28th. The Lebanese officials refused. They responded, okay, we will let it be till February 18th. They replied, no, they said we need 5 observing sites. Again, they said, no, we Hezbollah are certain that under this president, His Excellency President Joseph Aoun, that he would not give Israel a single gain.
لا يمكن أن يعطي إسرائيل مكسبا واحدا.
To the dismay of Hezbollah's leader, Naim Qassem, and his masters in the Islamic Republic of Iran, an extension to the presence of IDF forces in southern Lebanon was reached under Washington's auspices, with a new date for the withdrawal of IDF troops set for February 18th. However, the IDF's withdrawal is once again contingent upon the LAF's deployments in all locations, which the ceasefire's outline explicitly specifies. A senior IDF officer told TV7, therefore, that any further delays by the Lebanese army will demand for additional future extensions. Thank you for watching TV7 Israel News. I would like to thank all of you who proactively support TV7 Israel, since TV7 Israel is a non-profit ministry with all of our productions exclusively reliant on monthly donations. In this regards, if you've been blessed by the contents of our programs, I would like to encourage you to donate. You can do so via our website at www.tv7israelnews.com. Separately, I'd like also to encourage you, as ever, pray for the peace of Jerusalem and salvation of Israel. Jonathan Hessen wishing you an Erev Mevorach, and God willing, we will see you during our next update. Until then, Shalom from Jerusalem.